But we are now at a crossroads in this country. Joe Biden is a horrendous president. I mean, it is far worse than most people know. He is not in control of that process. He's being run by the furthest left elements of the Progressive Party. He's doing what he's told to do. He can barely find out where he is from hour to hour. And this is what you're going to vote for again? I think it's crazy.
Yeah. And one of the biggest concerns that I have right now is the policy at the border. There's a political aspect to this. I think Joe Biden wants to pretend and wink and nod at suburban women and, I'm going to shut down the border. But he knows that his party doesn't want that. So he's letting people come in the country. I believe it's to allow future voters. But that doesn't matter. I mean, the bottom line is he has allowed the border to be open, allowing fentanyl, allowed terrorism to come into the border. I believe that Republicans are mismessaging this entire thing. This is a national security issue. I posed this earlier the week to Chad Wolf, the former acting Homeland Security under Trump, but I said Republicans should just simply proposition Democrats by saying how many terrorists are acceptable to come into the country, full stop, and have a debate about security as opposed to immigration, which is we've gotten trapped into. So to me, we are falling short of the messaging when it comes to the border. What do you say?
Maybe, but look, if you don't know, you, the American voter, by now, what a disaster the Biden-Borden policy is across the board: narcotics, national security, draining treasuries in every major city, crime. We just had here in New York City 2 police officers attacked by 5 migrants who we then immediately let out on the street, no bail. And that's another progressive thing. If you don't know how bad it is, you're never going to know.
Yeah.
All right. 55% of the Democratic Party, according to a new poll, want open borders. That's where I would go if I were Republicans. I would say, look, you don't know, you think the border is okay? That's on you. But this party, 55% of them want this.
Yes.
You can't vote for that party. That's how I would frame it.
You know, you mentioned that Biden's not in control. Number one, who do you think is in control? And number two, there's a lot of folks out there, I disagree with them, that believe that Michelle Obama is the stalking horse, that they're going to somehow remove him and put him in. So explain to me who you think is in charge, number one. And number two, do you think that Joe Biden ultimately becomes the nominee of the Democratic Party this November?
Okay. So when Ron Klain and Susan Rice left the White House, knowing that it was a disaster, by the way, that's why they both left, their deputies took over.
Right.
They're invisible people. I don't even know their names. All right. They get checked in by the Secret Service every morning. They go to an office. They have little meetings in the West Wing where you worked. Okay. Biden's nowhere to be found, nowhere to be seen. They come up with, this is what we're going to do. Here's what Joe is going to say. We're going to write the speech for Joe. They present it to Joe, and Joe does it. Who they are, I don't even know. But they are the deputies of Klain and Rice, okay, who came from the Obama administration, as you know. Now, it's not hard for Joe Biden to do what Lyndon Johnson did. All he has to do between now and the convention is write a letter that says, I'm going to serve out my term, but I can't run again because of medical situations. And I'm going to give all my delegates to Whitmer of Michigan or Michelle Obama or whomever the cabal decides has a better chance against Trump than Biden. It won't be Kamala Harris. She's a disaster. Okay. So that's an easy play. And they've got, 7 months now to figure this out. Can they persuade Michelle Obama to get in here? Because she would get all Biden delegates, walk in at the convention. You got the nomination, Michelle. We'll see you in November. That's how it will work.
Yeah, I will agree with you on the convention part of this. I think that's the key that everyone's got to keep their eye on in August. I've got my own theory. I think the Biden-Obama tension is so bad. They're mad at Obama for screwing him over in 2016 versus Hillary, and they don't want to be seen as getting bailed out by the Obamas. Anyway, but I do agree with you. I think this is coming down to the convention, and that's where every eye needs to be. All right, I'm going to ask you a question that I'm embarrassed to ask you, but I was excited that you were going to be on the show because I think this is absolutely silly, and I have a lot of faith in Bill O'Reilly and your take on this. But this idea that people on the right all week long have somehow, you talk about a cabal, have now convinced themselves that Taylor Swift is going to parachute herself into the Super Bowl, stop the game, endorse Joe Biden in the middle, and this is going to change the election, to me is one of the dumbest things that we, as the folks on the right, are associated with now. I think it doesn't pass the smell test. It's stupid. The idea that people are going to suddenly wake up and go, oh my God, Taylor Swift told us who to vote for, not to mention all the logistical things. The reason I care about this, though, is because I think it makes our side look stupid. What do you think?
Well, the Biden people couldn't get Frankie Avalon to endorse them, so they're trying to get Taylor Swift. So Taylor Swift, excuse me, is the biggest entertainer in the world.
Fair enough.
And the National Football League is capitalizing on that to try to get more women to watch the Super Bowl by cutting away to the booth where Taylor Swift jumps up and down every time her boyfriend, Travis Kelce, on the Kansas City Chiefs, touches the ball. I'm not offended by any of that. I would rather see Taylor Swift jumping up and down than some sweaty behemoth covered with tattoos drinking Gatorade. All right? If I got a choice of two cutaways, I'll take Tay-Tay over the sweaty behemoth. Okay. Who Taylor Swift endorses doesn't really matter to anybody but Taylor Swift. Right. And maybe Travis. I don't know Travis' politics. I don't know him. So people who actually get involved emotionally with this kind of dumbness, all right, they have to live in their own world. All right. To me, it's just funny. It's very humorous. I would say to Taylor Swift, if she's watching us tonight, go a little lighter on the lips gloss. The lips are a little too Rocky Horror Picture Show for me. Just bring it down a little bit. But other than that, have a blast.
Bill O'Reilly, fashion tips.